This is Mike. I'm here with Mikhail from Lammping. How you doing this morning?
Good, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So it looks like you guys have a new album coming out in March, right?
Yes, we do.
So let's go ahead and talk about the album a little bit first.
Yeah, so this will be an EP. It's coming out on one-sided vinyl on a label called We Are Busybodies, a label out of Toronto. Um, yeah, it's basically a collection of songs we've been working on after our last record dropped in the summer of last year, and yeah, some cool ideas that we wanted to explore, and that's the results of it, basically.
I didn't even know that they made one-sided vinyl, actually.
Apparently they do. Apparently they do. I hope people don't feel like cheated. cheated. Hey
Like they
man,
got half an album.
this should have been half the price. Nope, regular price, friend. Yeah.
The vinyl's limited, right?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how many copies the label's pressing. I think it starts with 300, and then there's like a repress. So I'm not sure what the story with that is, but for now I think they've printed 300, and then they're gonna see how it does.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I saw too. I thought it was kind of interesting. I looked at a little bit of stuff, before we talked. And it looks like you guys got some funding from the government to do this.
We don't.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's
Is
all
that through
it's
the
all
label then?
it's just the label, yeah.
Okay.
Uh, I know that the American. I was actually talking with my wife about it yesterday. Like I'm pretty sure it's quite different in the States. In Canada, a huge portion, if not the majority, of basically musicians and labels, paycheck is through the grant system of the government. So there's pluses and minuses to that, but yeah. So this label got a grant to put this record out, essentially.
Okay, yeah, and we definitely, as far as I know, we don't have anything like that here in the States.
Right, right, yeah,
And so the sound you guys have, it's more of a psychedelic, I'd say like late '60s sound.
right.
Um, and I read an interview somewhere where basically you guys equated it to, I guess, Black Sabbath meets the Beach Boys.
Yeah. So what we like to do, we noticed that we had a few interviews where we did that. Is we take like the two most brilliant, uh, successful bands of all time, and then we tell people that we're a combination of those two bands. So yeah, no, we're like if Mozart and Jimi Hendrix made an album, that would be us. So
And so, outside of those, I mean, obviously that's a big influence for your music. What other bands from that era of music are you guys drawing inspiration from?
I mean, Blue Cheer, MC5, Stooges, the melodic stuff. I love the Beatles. You know, Not, funny enough, not so much the psych stuff for me personally. So, like I'm not a huge, Dead fan or Jefferson Airplane fan, but more I think the proto metal, proto doom stuff we gravitate towards. Yeah, so Sabbath would be like, the most obvious answer to that.
All right. Well, then I think also from that era, like you've got Hawkwind in there,
Yeah,
which
Hawkwind is a good one because Hawkwind is not exactly like a prog band. They're not exactly a heavy like Sabbath type band. They're not a psych band, but they incorporate all those little subgenres, which we try to do as well. Yeah.
all right. Well, and then before I'm trying to remember. There's a band before Hawkwind, and of course, those who don't know Hawkwind, one of their members later on went on to form this little band called Motorhead. I think some people might have heard of.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I don't know. Most people haven't. And then before that, but there was a band before that that Lemmy was in that it has the same type of music style, but I can't
Really?
think
Eh?
of what. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, and the other little known fact I think some people don't know is before all of that, he was in like a bubblegum type, like 50s rock band called the Rockin' Vickers.
Yeah, and I think he had kind of like shortish hair at that
Yep.
point.
Yeah,
I,
he did.
yeah, but he did have the mustache, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
So since you're kind of emulating that sound and style, are you bringing any older instruments in?
Uh, no. I mean, we're the thing is, we like the most kind of direct comp is that stuff that you mentioned. But with this record, we're actually like doing a few production things that are more 90s and 2000s hip hop things. So we're
Okay.
using little samples here and there. We're using drum machines. Um, so definitely we're still in the heavy kind of psych vein of it all. But we are doing a few new tricks that I haven't seen too many bands do in that genre.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So in terms of old instruments, I mean, yeah, we have some vintage synths. I have um, this organ I actually bought last year that's in the back of the studio. I don't know if you can see it. I'll
I
point.
see it actually.
Yeah. So that um, but it's all about the sound, right? So it's we're less concerned with kind of using specific things for our
Okay.
music rather than okay, let's use whatever works best on this idea that we have in our head.
Right. Well, I was curious because I saw a photo. I don't know how recent it was, but it looked like there was I think it was a Roland Jupiter that I caught
Right.
just a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
glimpse
yeah.
of.
So that was in the studio that we recorded. We actually weren't recording the Jupiter in that session, but we were recording the drums in that studio, and that studio has a million different synths and keyboards and stuff. So
Okay. Now I know for a while it's been just the two of you, but I think I read somewhere in an interview that you had started to bring in some more musicians for live gigs and stuff.
yeah, so now it's four people.
Okay.
I mean, the genesis of the band is me and the drummer Jay Anderson, and now it's not just us with a couple of guys helping us with live gigs. It's actually okay. This is a four-piece now, and we're actually adding another member in a couple of months when he comes back from Ireland. He's in Ireland right now. So yeah, I mean now it's more of a cohesive kind of collaborative unit. And as a matter of fact, like our next single off of this EP, our guitar player Matt Aldred wrote it and played most of the instruments on it and sang on that single. Yeah, so it's a little more fun this way. It's more collaborative. It's more ideas floating around. So I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask how things have transformed from going from being a two piece to a four, or I guess actually five piece, as far as the writing process and
Yeah, it's like it's
evolution
like
of songs.
it's like getting married and having a child where your wife no longer cares about you that much. So I feel that way with Jay, where he doesn't care about me anymore, and it's all about the guitar player and the bass player. Uh, so so no, but it's just more ideas floating around, especially with the pandemic. There's a lot of lockdown stuff happening, so people are just recording at their houses. But that opens the door to people sending little voice memos and little ideas. It's cool. I like that. You know what I mean? And then we kind of build on top of that and develop those ideas further.
So once, or I guess at this point, I feel like it's more like if the pandemic ever ends,
Yeah.
because there's part of me that's like, how long is this going to go on?
Right.
Um, any plans outside of doing a little bit of touring, in the local area or maybe on the East Coast or anything bigger?
Of course. You know, I mean, this is a pretty new thing, right? So we put out our debut record on the Sony, which is a German label, like a year and a half ago, if you actually go by the dates. And we've had, 3 records now. So there's not that much opportunity right now to, tour Oregon or something, but that's the goal, man. Just keep plugging away and getting more and more people to hear the music, and everything kind of happens on its own.
Right. And of course, I'm going to put links, in the description. But for those looking for your music that haven't heard it, where can they find it?
Yeah, you can go on Bandcamp. Like that's, in that particular genre that we make, that's sort of the meeting place of all the stoner and psych bands. So Lammping, that's LAMMPING.bandcamp.com. Find us on Instagram, Lammping. There's a site called Google. You can go on Google and put our name in there and then click enter, and then you will have some results. And any of those results are fine. We got a .com page coming up soon, but I haven't set it up fully yet. So
Yeah, you'll get it done.
yeah.
So, all right. Well, I think that is all the questions I have for you today. I'm looking forward to hear that. I mean, you can hear some of the samples, of course, of the new album over on Bandcamp. That's, I listened to some of the stuff before we talked.
Yes.
And you can pre-order.
Yes, sir. Pre-order on Bandcamp, and yeah, get us get us linked at Instagram, and I actually think we have a Twitter too. Yeah, we got a Twitter now. This is a
Oh,
brand.
you got the Twitter, which,
Yeah, brand new Twitter. I'm posting a lot of cat videos, funny cat videos. So find me on Twitter. Yeah.
Well, and of course, if it's on Twitter, somebody will be offended by it and get upset.
Yeah. Me. I'm offended that I'm on Twitter. Anyways. Yeah.
So, all right. Well, it's been good talking with you. We'll talk again at some point if you want.
For sure. Absolutely. Thanks, Mike.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Take care, brother.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.